Hello and welcome to Devstream 110. A little less than usual attending this fine stream today.
I like how we left the mic.
Yeah, the mic is just sitting on the...
That's okay. Sheldon isn't here. You are here. You guys are here.
Sheldon, he was off.
No one has seen Sheldon since the Leafs lost Game 7. Yeah.
It's true.
So I don't know what's happening. Has he gone
sitting in a bar? Just.
Is he still?
How are you guys doing with the Leafs loss?
I'm doing great about it.
You not
Jeff pretends he doesn't like hockey as soon as the Habs get knocked.
Yeah.
He talks about basketball.
It happens.
Steve, you're such a sportsman.
I'm all about sports.
Therefore, you feel?
Well, I'm excited.
Stressful.
I'm excited for the Raptors, I guess.
My man.
I guess.
Yep.
Big time.
So, although if they have to face LeBron, I'm scared.
Well, there's game 6 tonight, so we'll see. We are here today. We start our dev streams off with housekeeping. Before we do that today, it has come to my attention that in the 110 dev streams, in addition to the prime time Equinox alt helmet, so this is number 1. So day form alt helmet, and then next up is night form alt helmet.
Right on.
So looking quite glorious.
All right.
Fancy.
And then the metamorphosis version, which is both of them together.
Very nice.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it turned out really great.
Fantastic. So if you were waiting,
like a little bit of like Eldar from that or something like.
yeah, it's total like fantasy vibes.
Yeah, great.
But how long ago was that?
Probably a year.
I think it was over a year.
But what's amazing about this is a seamless handoff between controller and mouse for the UI. So you can see it starts there as the cursor, and then it switches. It's a little bit small right now. We're gonna ramp that up a bit, but it switches to controller mode as well. So there you go. Small thing, but it's has a big change, particularly for people who play Warframe with a controller.
People have been asking for this.
We've been wanting this for years, and now we're finally getting to it.
Getting changed. It still has its Cronus roots, but you'll finally get a unique mesh for that, which is big. And on top of that,
So this is back in the day when we did scaled up bosses that were just regular dudes.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
put their helmet on upside down.
Yeah,
That was the boss.
yes.
That looks cool.
Yep. Snipetron.
Scale it down.
That's totally boss. And we also are doing PBR passes still on weapons. So
Okay, great.
the Karak, the Graham, and the Cronin will all be getting a PBR pass. So they will look super cool.
Light nicer and take customization better. Fantastic.
That's great.
Yeah,
I still really love the Graham.
The Graham is
I really love
which
it.
used to actually just be the plasma sword scaled up.
Yep.
And now it's its own beautiful model.
Yeah, that's great.
I got a Graham Riven the other week.
Oh, that's exciting.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm particularly excited.
Okay, good.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Get nice and thick.
Dude, does that actually increase the hit proxies?
I don't think it does.
If it did, I would use this mod more than...
It really needs to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it... So hopefully chat
Go around and hit him in the spine.
in the spine.
Yeah. It makes him taller. It's sort of not ideal.
Well, I was trying to shoot their booty, as you would imagine, and did nothing, so... As
Oh,
far as,
I gotta fix that. That's definitely an A-bug.
yeah,
A-bug.
A-bug.
Yeah.
Shooting the booty does nothing.
Yeah.
Thick, see? Chat knows. Oh,
The knee spasm.
The knee
is
spasm?
pretty terrible.
I love it.
Okay.
All right, so let's take a look at how this enemy behaves. He's going to charge up now and show you his range of attack. So that is a new thing we're adding. I'm probably going to get dusted here, but that's just fine.
All right. You're good.
So you could, as you know, you can shoot off their helmets to stop their ability. So in this case, he's charging up, and then there's the dome. So this is a really sort of pretty big tweak to help you avoid the attacks, and whether or not the sizes are staying the same are to be determined. This is a dev stream work in progress, but at least now you're not going to get blindsided by their scrambusing because you'll be able to.
You're just trying to show off now.
See, there goes his helmet.
All
Bam!
right, there we go. Good stuff. Good stuff.
See, it's like I balanced it perfectly. One shot to get the helmet off, another to kill the target.
Okay.
You've practiced.
Excellent. You're like, hey, I think I can get him. Now you can steal their ships if you take the pilot out, and then the ship is yours. So
Way better, way better.
So instead of just having to find one,
Yep.
you can
steal one.
You can now steal them.
All right.
And Steve will make fun of my driving, as he always does, and he'll tell me to stay low, so I get lit, and I'll say, screw you.
We have that
So you
fixed
get
soon.
lit.
So
Get lit.
Stay low, get lit.
stay low, get lit.
Wow.
That's going in so many summaries of this stream.
Okay. Opinion.
Yeah.
So Venari moved to passive because there was lots of great feedback on the weekend when she was first released that people felt that she should always be out. So I think the most natural thing was to move her to the passive slot. So we now updated her.
Rocking the gram.
Yeah, her original power slot in 3 to be a command. We had a version of Venari when we first built Khora that was all command, and testers felt it was too micromanagement, so then we moved it too far to the other way, which was all autonomous, and now we have a mix. So she works on her own, but if you really, really want her to target a specific enemy, you can pay a little bit of energy, and it will break the cooldown of the current ability selected in the mode select, and she will attack the target, or disarm them, or heal them.
So you aim at the target, you hit the button, and you say, "Boy,
I do not know.
boy, I do not know.
I do not know."
Boy." Sorry, that's a God of War.
I know.
God of War reference.
He knows it's him.
It's a game that was
Actually,
released.
There's a game. Well, for one, the biggest thing was fixing all the issues with it. There was lots.
Are you kidding me?
Oh no.
Yeah, there was lots of aiming issues, which, we just kind of either missed or were unable to repro. It was hitting your own Sentinel and allies, which was a big one.
If that's someone on dev, I will lose.
And we also had the
Daryl?
aiming problem
Daryl.
where it was taking the aim when you initially cast versus when it was actually going to deliver the damage. So none of their corrections after the fact were taken into account, which in that second of time is quite large in Warframe. So we also sped up the animations because Jeff loves when I do this.
Oh, the accuracy is nice.
Yeah, the accuracy is
Accuracy
so
feels so much
like
better.
playing before and after. Just speaking from my own experience, there is just such a difference.
Well, you got a dread loop.
It would go to one enemy at a time, pulling them in. Now it grabs groups of enemies, but limited to two grabs, so it does 2 rotations. Before the crack used to, or the whip claw, used to release them from ensnare. Now it actually will propagate it again.
Right.
So if you whip an ensnared enemy, then you will get another grab of enemies. So you can kind of manage your CC by whipping them.
Yes.
To grab more people.
Yes.
All right.
So for every whip you do, and so there is a bug on dev right now, actually, that it's not grabbing with certain angles, so that does need to be fixed.
Yes.
So, and obviously modding for range will make things better, but the more you smack, the more it spreads. And
Yeah, if you don't kill them all.
yeah, but I'm just super.
Strangledome had a lot of interesting problems with some code, some presentation. I really pushed to have the animation changed right at the end to involve the whip more, which led to people believing it was at the cast at the aim point, which it never was and never can't be because of the way the dome is
Shaped.
and the way it deploys. We did experiments very early on that when it was cast on walls, you ended up with all this really bad issues. So it has to be kind of cast on the floor around the character. So kind of went through and found an animation that worked for her because she's had several iterations. So we had lots of animation laying around, and Jeff gave me permission to use it.
Sweet.
So it definitely sells the idea that it's cast
Coming from there, yeah. That's great.
It's cast from her.
Yes. And
We have a lot of strangled domes in London, Ontario, in children's playgrounds. We have that same kind of shape.
and now Vor is
the
coming.
ropes.
I'm sorry. This is this is not allowed.
You were cursed there.
Yeah, and then there was also kinds of edge case bugs where it wasn't grabbing enemies, it was leaving dead corpses being hung, so it was confusing players what ones are dead, which ones are alive. So now that it will drop the corpses and cut them up as they're dropped, which has nice synergies with other Warframes in the game.
Necros.
Yeah, people will know. Unfold.
Yes. And now if you hit it with your whip claw, it distributes damage across
Yes,
everyone caught.
yes.
in
If you whip a person hung in the strangled dome, everyone gets a portion of the damage as well.
Correct.
On top.
It's our work in progress. I think we showed like a little video last time we showed this. This is the civilian hub for.
No NPCs in it. There's
No NPCs.
placeholder corpus.
You'll
I
see
believe,
some
and placeholder
Excaliburs
Warframes.
hanging out
Yep.
in here in places, but yeah, this is the civilian hub, work in progress for Venus.
Yep.
We really want to emphasize work in progress. The guys
Another
are.
revision for materials, another revision
Yep.
for lighting,
Yep.
and then of course population with the crazy NPCs.
With the NPCs, atmospheric effects haven't gone in yet.
Yep.
You know, custom music, and all that good stuff. But
Still looking.
Are we talking? Is it worth talking about the culture here at all, or is that something that we should
I would
just
save
just
that.
say? Warframe, it's going to be unlike anything you saw in the Ostron town. This is a very different
this is the first glimpse at the NPCs.
first glimpse.
Yeah. Yeah. He's walking through the
It's walking through the coolant.
That's me reading the subreddit after we do something bad.
zombie. Okay, we'll leave it there.
After we do something bad.
Well, number 7, will Kuva Survival ever get scaling rewards? Will the drop tables or the AABC system ever get touched?
Sheldon?
Sheldon? So AABC came into the equation when the endless mission reward structure really became the way to get the most valuable stuff we were putting in the game, prime parts, prime keys, and everything. And now we sort of had that forever. And for a long time, we've been pitched from players, well, maybe by the time I get through it the third time, it's only C rewards or it's only B rewards. And I think like whether or not we're talking about rewards or not, the fundamental thing is rewarding longer missions. And this is typically the crux of the Onslaught conversations and everything is because it's do you want to stay or do you want to go? And some missions you can go forever, well, for as long as you can, and some are go in and go out. So how do we figure our reward structure fits into all that at this point in time in Warframe? It's a really hard question, I know, but it's sort of one that's on everyone's mind, including the person that asked this.
It was a tough question. Sheldon and I talked briefly this week about it, more in the Onslaught vein
Context,
versus the rest of the game. But we were talking about potentially adding more
Letters, basically.
more letters, basically, is the easiest way to describe it.
Yeah.
That reduces the number of rewards in the tables down to the more essential things. So the deeper you go, you have a better chance of getting potentially the better stuff.
Right.
That was never implemented, and it was never thing. It was kind of a discussion. Yeah. So I don't think we really want to go down the scaling rewards route.
Right.
Personally, I think that has where does it end?
Yeah.
Problems, but maybe reducing the tables a bit when you do get into those deeper parts is maybe something we should look at.
Right.
But I think that's
So it's just more precise rewards rather than scaling.
potentially, but then it's like, well, what precision and what items are you going to make?
Right.
Like, how do you read the player's mind?
Right.
Right,
And
which is really hard.
Yeah, and the tricky thing for that, and I understand completely, is the pressure on endurance for being the ideal scenario when everything can be done in 20 minutes or less. And if you want to stay longer, that's totally
I still
up
want
to
to
you.
keep that bite-sized Warframe
Right.
as the thing.
Right.
I don't want people to feel like, okay, I'm going to log into Warframe now. I'm going to commit the next 8 hours of this in order to get the things I want.
Right.
I still want the game to be, loaded up over lunch, loaded up, before your hot date, and you're going to go, 20 minutes.
To a 1950s prom.
Yep, exactly.
I think the only thing I don't like the incentive to bail based on cycle. I think is the only reason why I can see a really strong argument for doing that refinement you're talking about, where it feels almost like a penalty when you start looping again.
Yeah, because the tricky thing is if you stay and risk the longer rewards, there's no point because the enemies are harder and you're not getting, but obviously affinity with enemy level scales up. And that's a really interesting thing about all the efficiency and the Onslaught conversations is because the way it was with the enemy scaling problems, the way we fixed it, and then the way we're going to continue to fix it with the dev workshop, which is basically efficiency changes are going back, level scaling's changing, and what else? Spawning, of course, will be fixed. And then just focus, right? Focus is a scaling reward in that game mode, but it's the XP scaling, which is already how the game works. Because XP scales with higher levels, so in this case, not only are you getting more affinity per kill, you're getting more focus per zone because it's scaling upward.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's obviously we're doing that, so it's not like we're not doing scaling rewards, it's just we're treating it differently than,
Focus has a pretty steep ramp, it's a very large time commitment to get deep into to focus. So I think seeing that, we've talked about this before, and I think letting players explore that system more instead of trapping it off behind a very large time wall. So
Uncle Fredo. Why wouldn't it be? Uncle Fredo, you won separate Prime access.
I'm Clef.
Stop. Uncle Fredo, you won.
Fredo.
You stop. You won. Message, whisper us, and let us know what platform you're on, so we can hook you up after the show.
Yep. And we're hard at work. We don't know when the quest is coming out, but we're hard at work on it now. All departments, from the UI team to the animation team to the programming team, the level design team,
Are working on the fighting
artists, are working on Warfighter.
No,
I mean,
no. And the one really important thing is we don't know if the hotfix is going to be out today or not. By 5 o'clock today, we'll say it's not coming or it is coming. So you will know when we know.
Thank you for watching, and thank you for your patience with us. And yeah, we hope you stick around.
What? But you have something.
Oh, are
to
you
show.
showing your image?
And we'll show it. We're gonna show it and leave.
We're going to show it and leave. So we're just going to wave awkwardly while you look at a still image.
Okay.
Hey guys, this is Mogamu, and it's been a while since we got any updated information about the new upcoming cinematic quest in Warframe, The Sacrifice, but we did get something today from Devstream 110 in the form of a poster for The Sacrifice. Now, on its surface, it seems to be fairly innocent, not a lot going on here. But if you look a little bit deeper, there are two things that we can pull out of this poster to give us some hints as far as what the sacrifice is going to be about, or at least what might happen in it. Now, the two things are a little bit of text hidden in it, and also what's actually in the graphic. So the first thing we notice here is there's an Excalibur, a regular Excalibur, not an Umbra, a regular Excalibur with some type of lines coming off of its arm. Now, that arm thing seems to be some suggestion that the sacrifice might be bringing the sentient arm cannons. If you aren't familiar with that, or you've been playing Warframe for less than 2 years, around PAX East 2016, and I remember this vividly because I did fly into that PAX in Boston, and one of the things that DE teased there was the sentient arm cannons, or rather the arm cannons in general. These were some type of in-game weapons that would either attach to the arm or completely replace the arm of the Warframe. I wasn't really sure which one it was doing, but that was the idea they were going with, was that it was some type of in-game weapon that would attach to the arm of the Warframe. Now, it seems to be that they are teasing that here because this seems to be some type of UI or selection screen as a graphic where you are basically being pointed to the fact that the arm is being either broken down or replaced in some type of way. So definitely the sentient arm thing seems to be a thing, and it could possibly not even really be tied directly into Umbra because, again, that's a regular Excalibur, not an Umbra. So I'm not even sure I would even bring Umbra into that. The arm cannon seems to be the focus there. Now, that's not all. If you look deeper into this image, there are other things slightly in the background. Now, you can't make out a lot of the small bits of text or small icons and that type of just noise in the background of this image. But at the top left corner, there is a little bit of Tenno alphabet there. Now, a couple people have decoded this and there have been some varying results. But the one that seems to be most agreed on is if you translate that from the Tenno alphabet, it comes out to be THREHEH or THREE, comma 2 or period 2, something along those lines. So 3-2. Now 3-2 could mean a ton of different things. One thing I say that could mean is that could be a nod towards Umbra, because if you look at the order at which the Warframes were presented within the game, Prime would be 1, a regular Warframe would be 2, and an Umbra would be 3. So that could be a tease towards Umbra coming, being the third type of Warframe. And also it would be possibly that order in the lore because the Stalker refers to himself as a low guardian. So maybe he's lower on the tier list of ranking Warframes overall, or Tenno, I don't really know. And maybe 3 could be basically the pecking order of Warframes. That could be a thing, that's a reach, but it could also just mean that the order in which Warframes were presented, Primes were first, regular Warframes were second, and Umbras will be the third versions of Warframe. That's probably the most popular theory. Now, what the 2 means, not exactly sure. I haven't heard any really solid theories of what that 2 might mean, but the 3 seems to be a general idea, and I think some people are kind of thinking that that's the direction that it's going. Now, there is another theory. If you take the icon that seems to be a 2 and you turn it backwards, it could be I. So it could read something like 3I or third eye, some type of extra sensory. I don't really know how that could make sense, but if you flip it, I don't know why DE would flip it and make that symbol where it's the pronunciation of I, but I just wanted to throw that in there just in case anyone wanted to roll with that one. There's also a theory that that symbol at the end might be a lambda symbol, which makes a little bit more sense because of the shape of it, but that brings up so much math, chemistry, or even cosmology that it may be a little bit difficult right now to figure out what DE might mean by that. So for now, it just may possibly be that symbol, but I'm not sure what that could even mean. But the resounding theory seems to be that this is 3-2. No idea what the 2 means, but 3 seems to be going down that road. So I think the strongest thing here, because 3 could be a little bit vague as far as that being Umbra. We know Umbra's coming, so I don't know, it's just connecting the dots. But the arm cannon thing seems to be really, really solid. So you guys let me know in the comment box what you think this is. Do you think this points to the arm cannon? Do you think Umbra's coming? Do you think 3 is referring to the Umbra? Have you guys done any other translation on the Tenno alphabet at the top left-hand corner? You guys let me know. I would love to hear those theories. Also, my Discord is in the description box, and we're having a lot of fun breaking down the lore and theories of the game, that type of thing in that Discord. It's dumb fun, and if you guys don't have anything to do this weekend, jump into that Discord, throw some concepts around, throw some theories around. It'll be fun. All right, talk to you guys later.